Good morning. Nice to meet all of you. So I'm just curious, how many of you taken ASL? How many? Can I get a show of hands? Mm, okay, seems like we have enough students here. We don't need the interpreters, right? We can just continue on with the lecture and sign. Yeah? No? No? Okay. The interpreters can stay. Okay. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with deaf culture, have heard of the term or the deaf world, but really, deaf culture itself is already a very complex topic. Over time, it's become a lifestyle, it's become its own thing, so to speak. It's really become its own world, very disconnected from the world that we live in today. So I want all of you to join me. Let's take a visit. Let's look at the deaf world. Let's look at what everything looks like. Okay? All right. Obviously. Obviously, we have five senses. Hmm. I don't have hearing. That's right. I was born profoundly deaf. Nothing. It looks like I can hear a little bit. Maybe like if a cop car goes by, I can hear like a little bit of rumbling. But that means that things would need to be very, very loud for me to hear them. And I would react very differently. When you meet a deaf person, you try to imagine what that world looks like. They have four senses. You automatically think of their hearing as a loss. You see four senses and you think, the loss of a sense. But people in the deaf community, they've never had five senses. They're born with four. I haven't experienced loss. I've only ever had four senses and I'm fine. What have I lost? I haven't lost anything. That's a you thing. It's a different perspective. Like all of you can hear, right? You have five senses. We decide as a culture that hearing is most important. What is the second most important? Is it vision? Is hearing more important than vision? Which one is more important? Now, all right now, you can take hearing out. So what is my second most important sense? Guess what mine is? What's most important? Sense of touch, right? Taste, it's not really helpful. But yes, sense of touch is very important for me. When something is very loud, I can feel the rumbling all around the room. I really rely on that. I can feel it. So if something is loud, that's how I have an understanding of what the loudness is. So it becomes a controversial thing to discuss, right? That has become something that's really vital to deaf culture. And you think deaf people have culture, but really culture is applied to so many different situations. So you have to ask yourself, what is culture? Culture itself is a complex topic. Some cultures rely on food, clothing, values, the list goes on. It's very easy to develop a cultural list, right? You can say, oh, well, I have this and I have that and I have this, and now I have a culture. It's all very different. So let's look at culture. Okay, so the fourth sentence down here. When you have different cultures, sometimes meeting people in different cultures can be weird and awkward. In Japan, do they shake hands? No, no, they don't shake hands. They bow. That's how they greet each other. Now compare that to other cultures. Take France, for example. They do the kissing when they greet each other. That would be very offensive to Japanese people. How close do you get? What is the right thing to do? When you have culture, you have that basic understanding, and it's easy to just get along. It's very easy. I know that list is small, but what is the most important of all the cultures? All of us have identity. What is an identity? It's very important, and most people are proud of who they are, their identity. That's what makes you you, your values, your beliefs, how you go about your day-to-day life. That's your identity. Now, again, identity is very, very long list. You could have several identities, man, woman, you know, gay, straight. Those are all identities. There are so many identities.